how's it going? It's Sophia here from Zone Guidance. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So in this pick a card reading, we're going to be looking at your life's purpose. So all I need you to do is choose one of these 4 piles. Feel free to pause the video here whilst you make your choice. Just use your gut instinct and your intuition to lead you to the pile for you. And once you've made your choice, you can go to the description box below where you'll find the corresponding timestamps to your chosen pile. And for personal readings, please check the description box below. Okay, so let's get straight to your reading. Okay, so for those of you who chose group number 1, let's take a look at your cards. So the first one we have with the Divine Door. I'm sensing something investigative here. So I don't know if you're quite interested in investigating or digging into things or doing some kind of intense research. I don't know, that's just something that popped through there. Okay, so we've got Divine Guardian. Do not be nervous today or tonight. The path you are on will the path you are on will lead you just right. Interesting. So Divine Guardian is the first card. Great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. Yes, so it may be teaching for a lot of you, okay? And again, it could be about learning from certain experiences and growth that is going to lead you to that path. But I feel like this is about you imparting your wisdom onto others. But let's get more information. Oh, okay. So we've got communication is key, new moon in Gemini. So you may resonate with Gemini's energy. You may have prominent Gemini in your chart and your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars or Mercury, north or south node, and particularly the north node and your Venus, and well, everything in combination really, but the north node specifically denotes your destiny, you know, where you are led to, because it's the nodes of fate, okay? The north node is where you are destined to go. The south node is where you have been, where you've been in past lives or your childhood. So that could be something for you to check if you're not currently aware of where your north node is. I'd look at the sign it's in and the house it's in, and that will give you a lot of indications as to your destiny and life's path. But coming back to this, communication is key. So yeah, I feel like you are definitely destined to speak up, to say things. And that would make sense with, again, the spiritual teacher there, or the great teacher rather, that there's something about your voice or the way that you explain things that people really start to understand, or you help people to see things from a higher perspective through your communication, through your verbiage. There's something about the way that you talk, maybe even the tone of your voice or the pitch of your voice may be really nice to listen to. For some of you, this could also be about singing, okay? But it's definitely something to do with the throat chakra activation, okay? Now, this could also be something to do with your hands, because Gemini does rule the hands. So yeah, it could be something you're very naturally talented or gifted with your hands. And that could go so many different ways. That could be great at massage therapy, or a mechanic working with your hands, or an artist, okay? Again, I'm not going to list all the jobs. Obviously, so many jobs obviously use their hands, but particularly I feel with this Gemini energy, there's something that you'd be very good at when it comes to your hands, maybe even with communication as well. Maybe you're very mobile with your hands. Maybe you're very, like this, and some people talk, they're very animated when they use their hands to explain their points, okay? So it might be something as well that you do or you use. Okay, so now we're going to look at the astrology, the Black Moon astrology cards here. So let's see what they have to say. Ooh, okay, so we've got the 8th house and air element, communication, okay? Again, that's very interesting actually with these two combined. For some of you, it could be like a tarot reader, for instance, okay? Tarot readers, we use our hands, whether we're shuffling the cards or whether we are, again, making our point with our hand movements, okay? That can be something very prominent there. But the 8th house represents all things, could be all things hidden, secret, okay? It could be anything within the occult region, astrology, tarot, the metaphysical. It can also be about taxes, okay? So if some of you might work with taxes, you could be an accountant. Yeah, you could be very good with numbers, okay? But if numbers isn't your game, okay, there's many other things that the 8th house represents, because it represents other people's resources or other people's money, okay? Business partnerships, someone else, maybe investors as well. So for some of you, it could be that you're an investor, or that you are destined to invest in some form, maybe to invest in a spiritual teacher, okay? Okay, what else? What else is coming through with the 8th house? Yeah, so astrology, tarot, taxes. Okay, anything to do with death as well. Could be you could be a spiritual medium. Again, you may already be on this path already, or being interested in these types of subjects, but it might not be that you've actually you're headed towards that in terms of either your career or in terms of your life's path, okay? I believe that everything we're doing up until this, wherever you are in watching this reading, but everything we're doing is leading us towards our destiny, and sometimes we go with it, sometimes we go against it, but there's no rush, there's no race to get, there's no finish line, okay, to get to. Okay, it's more of a destination, it's more of a journey, sorry. It's more of a journey than a destination. Okay, yeah, so for some of you, it could be about working in funeral homes, or again, speaking to the beyond. Okay, I'm trying to think what else is deathly deep matters. Or again, yeah, something that is hidden, something where you're not seen, or people don't know exactly what you're doing, like working undercover in some way. That could also be, yeah, that was what came through initially with that investigating thing. That I don't know why that came through, but it did. So for some of you, yeah, it could be working with like the police, or being a detective, or being some kind of PI, maybe private investigator or something. But yeah, definitely something where you could be wearing a disguise, or you're not showing your true self. I don't know. Or even working at nighttime. Okay, working in the dead of night. It could be something there as well. Okay, but moving on over here, we've got these 2 communication cards with the air elements, which is Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. So again, you could resonate with those, but also Scorpio over here. Okay. So yeah, but there's definitely something to do with, yeah, communication, the way that you verbalize things, maybe even teaching some of these subjects here. Okay, so I'm now going to look at the tarot and see what comes through here about your life's path, your destiny. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse. Knight of Swords. Two of Swords. Nine of Cups. Ten of Pentacles. Princess of Wands. And the World. Okay. So, your destiny, your life's path. Well, I keep being drawn to this Two of Swords reversed, because this is the energy of revealing. Okay, revealing something, revealing the truth, something that's been hidden, or if there was some kind of blocks in communication. Okay, so again, it could be working, I don't know, with telephone wires. That's definitely not the right, probably not the right words to use there, because we're talking about communication and I'm struggling to get my words out. So I don't know, that might also be, for some of you, might be working with people with communication problems, okay? So again, this could be sort of like electrical problems or telecommunication problems. This could also be like verbal communication problems, maybe people that have stutters, or issues in them being able to communicate effectively in some way. So it could be that you're helping others to be able to open up and communicate. It could be that you create some kind of system that helps people to verbalize. You could also be some kind of a speech therapist or a coach, or even like a confidence coach or something is coming through, like helping people to get on stage and to, maybe even like public speaking or something. So for some of you might be a naturally talented public speaker. Okay, I know for some of you going, no way in hell is that me. But there's a lot of people that are going to be watching this, and you know, there's a few different things that are popping out here. So of course you're not going to do all of these things, but this is the general vibe that I'm picking up on for your life's part. Okay, so something to do, with revealing the truth, digging, investigating, communication, helping others to communicate effectively, or bring out the truth in some form. Okay, with the Ten of Pentacles, so if some of you could work with with finance, okay, again, taxes, helping people with their finance, helping people to understand, because air is not also only about communication, it's also about thinking, about our thoughts. So for some of you, it might be helping, again, people that maybe have mental health issues or struggling with their thinking. Okay, so it could be that you're quite a motivational person or an inspirational person. So you could be like a motivational speaker, or again, like a life coach or something like that. So if you're not going to work specifically with money, I do feel like if you're going along this path and you intend to move forwards in this, that you will receive quite a lot of money and a lot of notoriety, I sense too. Okay, because the Ten of Pentacles is reaching the top, it's being in charge. So I almost feel like as well that you'd be either your own boss, so maybe this is about also owning your own business, okay? So either that you're going to own your own business, or you're going to be the one in charge. You're going to be the top of the leaderboard almost, okay, or the boss. So definitely like an in-charge energy, and maybe you feel more comfortable in that kind of area where you are able to delegate to others, or you're able to delegate to yourself, and you have a lot of self-control, and you prefer to work within your own parameters rather than other people's. Okay, so definitely I'm getting a very independent vibe coming through from you. Like, you don't really need other people. And not to say you're never going to need other people or use other people in your work, but I feel more so for your, like, you have a lot of confidence when you're on this path truly, and that you will thrive when you're on your life's purpose. Okay, when you're moving in that right direction that's going to best serve you, but also best serve humanity, because whatever your life's purpose is going to benefit other people. There's no life's purpose where it's just solely sort of selfish. I mean, I guess if you have an Aries or possibly a Leo, I mean, I would say, but I mean, people, you could think that it might be more selfish because Aries is like the first sign. It could be seen as more of the selfish sign. Doesn't mean, by the way, that Aries is selfish inherently. It's just the nature of Aries is like me first, okay? It's the child of the zodiac. So, needing to be the first, needing to always win, going full steam ahead, but then not always following through. Okay, so if you, for instance, had an Aries North Node, you may think that that is the case, but it could more be that you don't, it's not about not needing other people or being able to help other people, but it may be by being on your own or more self-driven and self-focused that you're then able to help other people around, maybe even create their own businesses, okay? That could be something that you help to ignite within other people, okay? It's always interesting then to look at the opposite and then look at the South Node as well. And that will give you an indication of where you were as to where you are headed. Okay, for instance, like I was saying, if you had a Leo North Node, it may be that you are headed for stardom. Okay, you're headed for fame, or you're headed to be the person in the spotlight. But it also could mean that you are being guided to be more self-driven than, for instance, the opposite, which is Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius South Node, where Aquarius needs lots of people, and it might be as a child or as a younger person you relied on other people's help and guidance a lot, And then as you progress and get older, you move away from that. Maybe other people come to you for help and guidance, okay? So I'm just outlining a couple of examples there as to how that can work. I mean, maybe, and you do have that, maybe that's why it came out, okay? Not that I've seen Aries or Leo here necessarily. We do have fire though, with this queen and then this princess over here. So Aquarius, not Aquarius. Okay, maybe Aquarius, it keeps coming out my mouth, but Aries, Leo or Sagittarius. So that could be something there as well. And I guess the Aquarius, we have got the Aquarius card here with the World card. So I do sense there's something about going backwards. Maybe it's going back to something that you used to be interested in, that maybe you put on the back burner. Maybe you didn't feel it was making you enough money, or maybe you didn't feel it was the right path for you, or maybe there were other people that talked you out of doing this, whatever it was. So yeah, it feels like there's something about going back to something. And again, it might not be something specifically that you did before, but it might be a certain area, or maybe by going back to something you did has triggered something in you to help follow you, to help lead you on the path to your higher purpose. Okay, so yeah, I definitely feel like there's something about moving backwards, but it's inherently it will be moving forwards, but there's just something about it that feels like, maybe it feels like a step down. Okay, that might be what happens as well. You may even be right now at the top of your game in some form, but you might have to like step down a notch in order to fulfill this purpose. Like, it doesn't mean that you won't get to the top again, it just means that it might be that you have to just wait a moment, okay, and realign the ego perhaps. Something coming through there, because with the Queen of Wands reverse, this can show a lack of confidence, or a lack of passion. Sometimes it could be passion in overdrive, or like too much anger or something, but it does feel like maybe this is something that is blocking you right now. Again, maybe this is something you're thinking, yeah, I would love to do all of these things, but I don't feel that I have the confidence to do it, or I don't feel like I'm ready to take the action. So for some of you might be saying, I'll do this when I move here, or when I get to this position in my current job and then I can leave, or when so-and-so tells me they love me. I mean, there could be a million different things and excuses that we tell ourselves before we make movements. But I feel like, yeah, there is something guiding you to let you know that you need to find that confidence within yourself, regardless of the outcome, and stop waiting and making these excuses. But again, you have to do this in divine timing. But what will sometimes happen is, if you're really destined to do something, that something may happen that is then out of your control. Something triggers you that you have to then make a movement, and you have no choice. So it's nice to be able to make those choices before something like that happens. But again, that may be what needs to happen. It might be that if you weren't triggered, that you would never do it. So, you just have to go with the flow of the energy in that respect. Okay. The Knight of Swords. Again, this is lots more about communication here. Okay. It might be that you work with someone. It might be that you start, and maybe you start in a partnership, even though I'm mostly seeing a lot of solo action here. But again, there's always, if you're a teacher, for instance, you might be technically working solo, but you are working with people. You're working obviously with either children or adults, whoever you're teaching. You're working with them. So there are still other people involved, if that makes sense. And no matter what job you do, most of the time there's always going to be somebody else involved, whether you're providing a service to them or you're selling something to them. There's an energy exchange or a monetary exchange of some kind. So there's not many jobs where you're solely just on your own and never speak to anybody ever. But yeah, so it feels like there might be, this could be a man, doesn't have to be a man, could be a woman as well in her masculine energy. Again, in an air sign perhaps here. But yeah, I feel like that's what this is more about. And this could even be somebody that comes in that is like they're the trigger. It might be that they trigger you to move forwards. Because I just get this sense here with this Nine of Cups reversed. This is about not feeling content. Okay, not feeling emotionally happy or fulfilled. maybe where you are currently or what you're doing currently. And I feel like maybe that's something that you are seeking out. You're trying to find what you feel passionate about here. Okay. Princess of Wands is there to start something, to initiate a spark. Yeah, so I really feel like something is going to help to trigger you and initiate this spark for you. Okay, I'm just going to get some more information here from tarot, and then I'm going to look at my own deck as well. So your life's path, your destiny, group 1. Huh, interesting. So we've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. Okay, we've got 3 cards here. Justice, Princess of Cups, and the 2 of Cups. Okay. Now it's interesting, I was talking about there being another person here. So for some of you, this could be about counselling, okay? It could be a marriage counsellor. We've got the Justice card there in reverse. So this could be about divorce, okay? You could be also a divorce lawyer. That came through with other people's money and other people's taxes. So it could be that you, again, are a tax advisor, as an accountant or a lawyer. But then again, this could be a relationship therapist, okay, or somebody that's dealing with contracts of some kind. But because it's come out in reverse, it feels like whatever this is feels unfair. So it might be that you are also fighting for some kind of social justice here, finding that balance and equilibrium in life. Ace of Wands is about putting, when it's in reverse, it's like extinguishing. Even have you look at the image of her hand, you know, like she's literally putting out that fire. So yeah, it could be like conflict resolution, that you're helping to extinguish something. Helping to extinguish something, false starts. Strange. Because for some, life purpose isn't always going to be specifically a career or a job. Okay, it might be that that's something that you enjoy or you get a lot of fulfillment out of, but it may be other areas of your life that you're more sort of directed to move towards, that are going to have the most benefit to you and others around you. Okay, because we do have the 2 of Cups here. And the 2 of Cups is unity. I mean, as you can see, it's such a lovely card. It's a mutually loving card. You know, both individuals really care about each other, both love each other, both want to be very close to one another, be near each other. So, yeah, it could be that, yeah, you're dealing with people that really care about each other. You could be dealing with, yeah, like I said, marriages or relationships. Because I'm now seeing a lot of emotion. We weren't getting a lot of that come through before. But here we've got, you know, 2 emotional cards, Princess of Cups. You know, and I feel like this is, yeah, offering some kind of helpful advice by being your naturally caring self, okay? So I feel like with your words, and again, this might not even be the job that you do, okay? So it might be that you move in a different direction, but the way that you talk to people, maybe the way that you talk to your friends, the way that you give advice to friends and family, okay, that could be something that you're destined to continue to do. If you know you're that person that everyone leans on, you know, you're the shoulder to cry on, or you're the people that people come to for advice. Okay, I just really get that there's such a knowledgeable air about you, group 1. So again, whether you end up doing this proactively in your job, or whether this is more so just about your general vibe and how you are with people, it might be something that you feel like you're a little rusty with at the moment. Maybe you feel like you are really good at it, but maybe you don't have the training. So that might be something that you do decide to do, take up some training so you can extend you know, your wisdom to more people. Okay, so that could be what's coming through here. But I will say that Ace of Wands is stumping me a little bit. I don't know, and I don't often get stumped during readings. I really don't. So in terms of life's path, it could be about, yeah, I don't know, like I said, about more like conflict resolution, like stopping something before it gets to the point of no return. okay? Which I know sounds a bit weird. But let's see. What else is going to come through? Let me just grab my cards here. Ones I've made myself. So there are lots of actual jobs in here, but there's some other sort of different meanings and words and feelings in here. So let's just see. Your life's path, your destiny, group 1. First we have financial advisor. Yeah, okay. So definitely for some of you, you would be very good at advising people in finance. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have? Obsessed. That's very like Scorpio-like energy. Okay, so whatever you are going to do or you're meant to do is got something to do with obsession. Now, this could be other people's obsession, okay, especially if they're suffering, because obsession, I mean, it's not the most positive of words, because being obsessed means being detached from reality. And it's not always a very healthy place to be in. So again, this could be that you're dealing with people with obsessions, but it may be that you have some obsessive tendencies as well, and by focusing your obsessive tendencies into something more productive, might be some advice coming through for you. So what else do we have? Be silent. Now, isn't that interesting? What a contrast from all of that communication. Okay, so it may be part of what you're doing is obviously being silent and listening. Okay, so certainly if you were going to be a counselor or some kind of therapist, a lot of it will be listening to, you know, your clients speak about what's going on with them. And it may be more about being intuitive and feeling, okay, listening to your intuition and your gut instincts, okay. But yeah, that could also be about being hidden. Okay, so again, you might be talking, but maybe people don't see what you're saying. Okay, so maybe, I don't know, for instance, if you recorded YouTube videos like this right now, you can't see my face. But there's many other videos where there are, people obviously narrating or talking over video. So it could be that you do something like that as well, like narrating, or like a voice actor or something. Human rights, yeah, that makes sense with that justice card there. Yeah, so again, it could be that you are fighting for human rights in some way, and that's your path, is to find peace and balance between others. Okay, so we've got exciting times ahead. Just get a couple more. Money is coming. Journalist and introspect. Okay. Yeah, so for some of you it could be journalism makes sense with all that air energy as well. So it could be that you're a naturally talented writer, again with all that Gemini vibes with the hands. It could be that naturally you are somebody that writes about, human rights, or about things that that you feel very passionate about, okay? Something that makes you feel really excited. So I do feel what you will do will be exciting. It may be quite quiet at times, and it may be that there's a lot of introspection that occurs through this, but there's something exciting about it. So maybe, you're either going to find certain things out about people. Maybe you find that exciting. Again, that obsessed or that sort of digging, investigative quality. That might be something that you really enjoy and that lights you up, like finding certain things out, finding out the truth, okay? What else was I going to say with that? Oh, yes, and anything that you do or you feel guided to do, I feel like, it's going to bring you some kind of joy, okay? Especially if you worked in something where it changes all the time, okay? So it's not the same thing, it's not monotonous, it's not the same thing every single day, day in, day out. There's something definitely about it that changes, that excites you. So, and whether that's you have that creative input and you're able to create that excitement and change within your work or within your, where you're headed towards, okay? But it does feel like it's quite interesting, or like I said, people revealing their secrets to you or finding out quite a few different things. But yeah, money is coming. I feel, again, that could resonate with the finances, working with money, investing, the stock market. So there's many different areas that could go, obviously. But I feel like that's a really positive sign as well, that whatever you do, if you do go down the path of making this into a career, or maybe you're already on that path and this is just affirming that, but I feel like you're going to get a lot of money. Okay, you'll receive a lot of money for what it is that you do, because I see you doing, I feel like it's going to be quite specialized, okay, in the particular area that you go into. Yeah, it's either very specialized, either not that many people do it, or certainly not many people do it the way that you do it. You definitely bring a certain quality to this that warrants receiving quite a lot of money, okay, which is intriguing. But I think that's nice, like you're going to be rewarded either way with the finances, but I almost feel like that's the universe as well, rewarding you with the money, because maybe without the money you wouldn't, well, financially be able to sustain it or to keep it going. And I feel like when you're on your purpose, again, especially if this is directed more at your career, I feel like when you're on your purpose, you will receive enough money, or more than enough money, it depends, right? But certainly enough money that it would keep you within that job or within that industry, because you're meant to be helping in some way by utilizing the skills that you're being directed towards your purpose. Okay, so the universe wants you to keep doing it. So if you were making zero money, it may be a struggle for you to carry on. So I feel like if you're doing the right thing, you're on that purpose, that you will receive enough money that you can keep going, and maybe more than enough, as I said. Okay, what was I going to say then as well? I don't know why things keep slipping out of my mind in this particular pile. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, maybe one more will trigger something, whatever that was to come through. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Yeah, so I think maybe whatever you're going to be doing, you're going to be speaking very candidly, and I think that that is going to be something that you're very good at. Okay, maybe you're naturally very good at that now. Like I said, if you speak to your friends and family, you might be someone that is very open and honest. Okay, but I feel like don't hold back. Okay, and whatever this is, don't hold back. Be open and honest with yourself as well as others around you. Okay, but I feel like this is about you. Definitely something to do with you speaking. I really feel like that's the strongest message coming through. Is about speaking up, speaking your truth, verbalizing something, again, teaching something out loud, or through videos or something. I just feel like this is more of an auditory in terms of the senses. Okay, I feel like maybe that's the best way that you learn as well. Maybe you learn best through listening rather than through visualizing, etc. There's obviously different ways to learn and to teach, but I feel like definitely something to do with your voice is where you are destined to go and destined to use it in some way. Okay, so I'm going to leave the reading there. I do hope that this resonates with you. And please let me know down in the comments below if it does, and please give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy this reading today. And if you'd like a personal reading, please check the description box below. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Take care. Okay, so for those of you who chose group number 2, let's look at your life's path and destiny. Okay, so the first card we have, this door, divine door, third-eyed raven. A sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news. Okay, the next card. High Priestess, harness mystic power. It's time to take action, new moon in Aries. Okay. The 12th house, escape. Mercury, the mind. Okay. Okay, so firstly, what I'm picking up here with Aries, you could work, again, this doesn't have to be about work, by the way. I might naturally just say that, but when it comes to your life's path and destiny, for some of you, it might be work related. For others of you, it might just be generally the way that you interact with other people and how that could be part of your destiny. Okay, it could be about creating a family, or it could be about, you know, career and starting a business. A lot of this is going to be career related, I feel, okay, but there are going to be other aspects to this. It's not going to be solely about, you know, finance and making money, okay. But I just thought I would put that out there, okay. But it's time to take action. So yeah, for some of you, you might work in the emergency services, okay, something that's very fast paced, okay, there's a lot of action going on. Aries can also represent the military, okay, it also represents metals like guns, ammunition, again, something that's very fast paced. It could also be about sports, yeah, doing something that's very active with your body. So this could be about health as well, like personal training, fitness instructing. But I feel less so about the diet side, not that you might not combine the two, but I feel this is more about the movement of your body, taking physical action. You know, Aries is ruled by Mars, which is the planet of war. So hence why the forces is coming through, and being there in times of a crisis, okay? It might be that you're naturally drawn to times of crisis, like if you see like flashing lights of an emergency vehicle, and you want to know what's going on, and maybe you want to follow it and see where it's going. Like you want to be there in the heart of whatever the crisis is because you want to help. Okay, so I feel like that is something maybe you're already naturally aware of, or you're naturally quite good at. Like people come to you when there is a crisis because you're very like level-headed, or you know what to do. It doesn't mean that you might not crumble in your own crises. I think the way that we handle other people's crises and the way we handle our own sometimes can be quite different. So not to say that just because you don't handle your own stuff very well, I mean, it's like I said, it's a very different reaction when we're dealing with our own stress as to when we're dealing with other people's, because with other people's, of course, there's a level of detachment there because it's not our own stuff, okay? So I don't want any of you to be disheartened if you think, I don't handle crisis well, but think about maybe how you handle other people's situations, other people's issues, or crisis situations, or times of hardship. Okay, for some of you this could also be about creating your own business, starting something new, as Aries is the initiator. Okay, so always wants to create something, to start something. It could be about being your own boss. Okay, but it could also be working in somewhere that's quite competitive, and maybe that's just, again, your vibe. You want to be the first in line, and you want to win. So yeah, it could be that you work in quite a competitive industry like sales or something like that, okay? But let's move on from Aries a moment. I'm just drawn to this 12th house now, okay? The 12th house is ruled by Pisces. Again, so you may resonate with Aries, Pisces energy. Okay, we've got Mercury here, so we've got Virgo and Gemini too, and then the High Priestess, it could be Pisces or Scorpio or Cancer as well, so you may resonate with those signs. But the 12th house can represent hospitals, okay, so hospitals, mental institutions, but prisons as well, so maybe even working in prisons with offenders, okay, or maybe not working in actual prisons, but maybe in probation or something. But yeah, I really feel like it's dealing with people when they're going through the hardest of times, okay, because the 12th house is also the house of suffering, okay, so, you know, when people are in great need, I feel like you are the one that could be there, okay. I just got psychic investigator as well, so for some of you, it could be a psychic investigator or something along those lines, okay, using divination to help in these certain chaotic or crisis type situations, okay. I know that would be really specific, but it came through, so I said it. Okay, but it might be that using your intuition, because I do feel for you, group 2, with this card that's come through, that you are very naturally intuitive, and I think you pick up on signals very quickly, like the non-verbal communication. Maybe you're very good at body language detection. Maybe there's something you're very interested in naturally. Okay, so it might be something, again, it doesn't have to be the work specifically that you do. Your life's purpose is about where you are, you know, where you are headed and what you're meant to be doing. But, you know, usually whatever your purpose is going to be about helping others in some way. I mean, and that's most jobs, isn't it? It's providing a service or a product. okay? Whether you provide it, you sell it, you teach it, you know, there's always going to be an exchange, okay? So it may be that, like I said, it's not specifically a job that you do, but it may be just where you're drawn to, okay? You might be that person that, I don't know, you're walking down the street, you're having a normal day, a seemingly normal day, and doing your shopping or something, and then, you know, you see an accident, and you are the first one there on the scene, okay? And maybe you're there to then support others, to comfort people in times of, you know, great hardship and pain, okay? So it's like, I just get this, like, right person at the right time. Like, you're always going to be there in those moments, but protected in a sense, because you're there to help people and to not be going through it specifically yourself. And not to say, of course, you're not going to go through any suffering of your own, of course, but I feel like there's a protection there, because you are meant to really help others through sometimes the worst of things, okay? So like I said, it might be more that you are like a support worker, you know, or you're there to like comfort those, you know, you go to the hospitals, or I just think burn victims as well, something maybe in burn victims. I know that's very specific, but I'm just seeing fire here, you know, and helping people through these really hard times, okay? Yeah, and then Mercury in the mind. Okay, so Mercury rules communication and thoughts, but it also rules like short distance travel and siblings. So for some of you, it might be that working with your siblings, okay, it could be that you go into business with them, or it could be your destiny to get closer to them, perhaps. For some of you, you might be quite distant with them at this point, and maybe later on in life you come together more closely. That could be something for some of you. Maybe for some of you, there's some long lost siblings as well that you know, you haven't connected with and you connect with in the future. But yeah, this could also be about driving. You might drive a lot of like short distances, or maybe you are there on the scene of like accidents as well. Okay, maybe you're there to help, maybe even like the crime scene cleanups, like, you know, the crime scene cleaners. That could be something that's coming through for some of you. But I'm going to look at the tarot now and see what else is coming through for you, like your life's path and your destiny. And yes, I'd always say as well, if you're struggling to know where you're headed, look at your North Node. Look at the sign your North Node is in, the North Node of Fate, and look at the house it sits in as well. Okay, to know the house, you'd need to know your exact time of birth, okay? So if you have that, great. If you don't, even just knowing the sign it's in can be really, really helpful. Okay, so let's just look at this first card that flew out. We've got the Four of Swords. I mean, sometimes, yeah, in other decks or in the traditional deck, this person, I mean, is lying down. Okay, it kind of looks like she's stood up here, which I don't often see in this card, but traditionally they're kind of lying down in a bed, feeling exhausted, mentally drained. And I'm seeing like hospital bedside. So yeah, I really feel for a lot of you that there's this instinct of being drawn towards hospital. Again, people in great pain and discomfort, or again, prisons. It could be like prison bars as well. Okay, and obviously prisoners, regardless of what they've done, they're still gonna, you know, they're human beings at the end of the day, and they're still gonna be in pain at times. Okay, let's see what else is coming through. Okay, so we've got the Strength card, the card of Leo. Okay, your life's path and destiny. Okay, so yes, we've got the Three of Swords in reverse. The Devil reversed. Yeah, the Three of Wands. Yeah, so I really do feel like both of these cards, I'm sensing like you won't go too far. Like you may stick quite close to home. For some of you, you might not be that keen of a traveller. Or you may be, okay? Because we're looking overall at your destiny. So it's not to say that you don't enjoy travelling. Some of you may love to travel, but I mean, I'm just sensing maybe there is, for some of you, there might be a fear of travelling, maybe a fear of, or like an anxiety of travel. Maybe it's all types of travel. Maybe it's one particular mode of transport, like driving or planes or boats. that you find kind of scary, okay? For some of you, that just might be something and you prefer to stick closer to home. But it may be more so also about sticking with your local community and, you know, helping out, because this can also be neighbours as well. You might be somebody that's, you know, your neighbours lean on or come to in times of need, okay? But it could also be about driving, like being some kind of a driver, like an ambulance driver, or a taxi driver, or, you know, an Uber driver, or a police car driver. So many different avenues. And, you know, for instance, if you're an Uber or a taxi driver, you could hear a lot of things, and, you know, sometimes you do deal with people's problems. We've all been there when we've unloaded to our driver, I'm sure, at some point. And sorry for that noise, my bunny just knocked off something. What was I saying? But yeah, you know, where we've unloaded our problems on the driver. And I don't know, maybe it's because there's a level of detachment, maybe because being in the back seat, or obviously for certain people, or certainly for me at times, being out of it, having too much to drink or something in the past. Yeah, I just feel like this offloading in some way, like maybe people will offload to you again. So yeah, whether you're driving or not, but it, like I said, if it's not actual driving, has anything to do with your job, it just feels like you will be, you're sticking local in some way. So maybe for some of you, maybe working from home as well. But I'm really not getting that sense more so for you, group 2. It feels more like you're going to be kind of out there, and see how with the strength card and how this tiger is, you know, moving quite slowly. But I feel like this is the body language there is almost like waiting to get their prey, like coming towards their prey. They can see the prey, but there's a confidence there because the tail is up, and it's not like they're crouched down trying to be hidden. It's very much wanting to be seen, being out there. Okay, so yeah, I don't feel like for you guys that it's you're going to do something necessarily private, or yeah, where you would be behind the scenes. This very much feels like you are the scene almost, or you are the first in line. You're the first at the scene, okay, with whatever's going to happen. And you know, it's the card of Leo, so this can show you know, being in the spotlight or receiving a lot of notoriety or recognition for what you do. And yeah, that makes sense with that Aries as well. Yeah, being first in line. I definitely see that for you. Okay. And then the fact that we've got the Devil and the Three of Swords reversed, I mean, both very negative, toxic cards. And yeah, the fact that they've come out reversed, I feel like that's an indication that that's, again, something you're going to be working with, you know, people that potentially have addictions, okay, or toxic behaviors, people that have been in a lot of pain, okay. We've got the heart here as well. If we're going to be specific as well, so it's parts of the body that are coming through. We've got the heart and the head, okay. Could be dealing with head injuries as Aries rules the head. So some of you could be working in that particular head injury unit at the hospital, for instance. I know that's a very specific one, but just something that came through, okay. Or people that have had heart issues or heart attacks or something. Yeah, it could be that you have a very strong heart yourself, or maybe you've grown like a thick skin through what you do, okay? But again, I just get this feeling for you of you being in the right place at the right time. Like your intuition brings you to these places. So again, whether or not you do this for work, I feel like, you know, even if you do something totally off the wall different than what you do here, or what's coming through here, I feel like it's almost more manifest in a different way. For instance, people that do work in that industry may not come across these other situations in the same way because they're already working there. But for instance, if you're doing something totally different, you may then, things may manifest that bring you into these kind of crisis situations because that's something that you're naturally very good at and being able to help people. So yeah, if you didn't want to come across so many things like that, it may be a good idea to move into that industry because then all the manifestations will come through the career that you choose, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So I'm now just going to look at some of my handwritten ones. There's lots of different, there's some career options in here. There's some feeling, general vibes. Okay, so we've got welcome this ending. Self-care. prepare and plan. Lawyer, level up, wish fulfillment, 8th house, okay. 2nd house and hairdresser. Okay. So yeah, some of these could be very literal. And that makes sense there. For some of you, it could be working with hair. I mean, it's not something that I've overly seen, but now we've got the head, obviously, with Aries. So, you know, hair obviously grows on the head. But I'm just seeing all of this hair. I didn't even think about hair. So yeah, for some of you, it could be working with hair, but I don't see how any of the rest of it makes sense. But then again, like I said, this might be the career that you choose, but it might be that this is still your destiny. Okay, so what I was saying before about, you know, you being in the right place at the right time, being connected in that sense to people going through hard times, or again, being connected, maybe just in your spare time on your hobbies, or, you know, what you enjoy to do or learn about in your leisure time could be this way inclined or focused, but this is your career that you choose, okay? But, oh my God, remember what I was saying before there as well about like a taxi driver, or an Uber driver, whoever, like revealing everything, spilling all the secrets to them. People do that to the hairdressers, don't they? Okay? Especially you could be in the chair for hours on end, and if you trust the hairdresser, you know, you'll chat to them and reveal things. So that makes perfect sense too. So very much that could work as well. But also, and I don't know if this is a real thing, but I feel like it is, that maybe, I don't know if it's a male-female thing, but I think definitely, and I've experienced this myself being a woman, but when I've gone through times of crisis, I've always taken it out on my hair. Now, I don't do that anymore. And I didn't realise that that's what I was doing, but I would either cut it or dye it or do something kind of drastic to it when I was going through something pretty intense. So that might be a thing, okay? Like trying to change the external because the internal doesn't feel good. So trying to like have control over something in where you feel out of control in other ways. So that could also be what's coming through here as to why, you know, you might be dealing with people that are going through so many crises, you know, and they're changing their hair. You know, I'm not talking about the people that come in for their, you know, regular trim or whatever. But it might be you get like lots of clients that are, you know, kind of unexpected, or they're going through something, and you might be someone, again, that's the right place at the right time that is able to talk them down in some way. Okay, so interesting that. And then we've got the 8th house and we've got the 2nd house. Oh yeah, and sorry, lastly as well, it might be as well that you have very long hair. That could be something that's coming through. And I personally believe the longer the hair you have, sometimes the more intuitive you can be. And not to say if you don't have long hair, you're not intuitive, etc. Or you've got no hair, you're not intuitive, but I believe it to be like an extension of ourselves. And only for me personally, the more intuitive I've become, the longer and thicker my hair has gotten. Is that a coincidence? I don't know, but I'm going to go with it anyway, right? Anyway, let's go back to, we've got the 8th house and the 2nd house. So the 8th house is the house of Scorpio, the 2nd house is the house of Libra, but very interestingly, these are both money-ruled houses, okay? More so the 2nd house is about, you know, our personal finances, our possessions, you know, but also our self-esteem, how we value money, how we value possessions, how attached we get to our possessions, that kind of thing, okay? So, you know, and it's the money we make. So that could also be something that's pointing you to look at your chart to see, you know, which sign rules your 2nd house, and do you have any planets in the 2nd house? Because they could give you some indications as well about the type of work that you do and how you make your money. Now, the 8th house is the house of other people's money. Okay, so other people's resources. It could be like inheritance, tax, but it can also be occult matters like astrology and tarot. Again, things that are very hidden, things that are dark, things that, you know, it can represent sex, it can represent death. Okay, so... and there would be naturally in, you know, this 12th house energy, that could be what's coming through there as well. But interestingly, lawyer as well. Yeah, so, I mean, the two jobs, we've got lawyer and hairdresser. So yeah, for some of you could do either of those jobs specifically. Obviously being a lawyer, you know, there can be Maybe like you're a tax lawyer or like a will lawyer or something. You're helping other people out with their money, but also creating balance and fairness here. It may be as well as, for instance, if you work in the police force, you may have to deal with lawyers. Okay, same as if you work in a prison, etc. You might have to deal with lawyers or deal with the law as a whole. So yeah, it does feel something to do with the law or about structure. Okay, but also lawyer would be represented by the sign of Libra. Okay, the scales. When you think about the image of the Libra, the scales. Okay, tipping the scales, finding equilibrium and balance. Okay, so we've got the second house, which is ruled by Libra as well, and Libra does also represent things that are very beautiful, relationships, our life's pleasures. That's more about Venus, really. Venus rules our life's pleasures. And then specifically Libra also rules, relationships and legal matters of all kinds. So yeah, it could be that there are aspects to that as well, where you've got the beauty industry side of things and then the lawyer side of things. So yeah, there's many different ways that that could go. Okay, so then we've got level up, wish fulfillment, prepare and plan, welcome this ending, and self-care. Yes, so it may be, I don't know, I feel like this might even be a message for you right now, maybe where you are currently, either in your career or in your, where you are or where you feel you are when it comes to your life's purpose, okay? How far along you are in reaching where you would like to go, okay? So for some of you might be thinking about ending something. You might be hoping to end what's going on now, your particular career, or maybe even a relationship, okay? And this may spur you on to do what you really want to do, okay? What you feel called to do. And I feel like with wish fulfillment and level up, that there's something about you leveling up your energy and doing what you feel called to do. And it might be that you're in the stage of preparing and planning right now and thinking about it. Maybe you have to go back to school. Maybe you have to study or, take certain tests, certain trainings, of course. There's a lot that may go into what you're looking to do that is going to take a lot of preparation and planning, okay? And it may be as well that you need to end something in order to begin something new, okay? Because overall, with what I'm seeing here, it's not that, any job or any career, whatever you're going to be doing, there's going to be an element, of course, of preparing and planning. But I feel like with that energy of, there's something impulsive. And I said, especially with crisis situations, they just happen. But of course, by training and preparing how to deal with these situations, then, that certainly helps in being able to deal with them more efficiently than if you hadn't prepared beforehand. So yeah, there's an element of learning. Maybe that's something even that, maybe that's why you're good at these types of things. Maybe you're used to dealing with that. Maybe one of your parents was struggling in their life, or maybe family crisis situations that you've been through. So it's giving you a thick skin for this type of stuff, okay? But yeah, it just feels like, you're going to be leveling up in your energy. So maybe you will be promoted. Maybe you'll end up being like top of your game in some way. Okay. But it definitely feels like it's time for you now to start moving up your energy and moving into these areas here where you feel like, you can actually be of service. You can be of help to someone. Maybe you feel like you've outgrown where you currently are. And maybe you want to stick within the same industry, but you want to, push yourself, because that's the feeling that I get with you, Group 2, is that you really want to push yourself. You have a lot of drive and ambition for, your life. And I get the sense that if you feel bored or you feel like things are monotonous, or it feels stagnant, that you just want to escape, you want to move on, you want to run away. Okay, so, but I feel like you're being called to not do that, to not run away and push everything away, but to, utilize the skills you already have and the knowledge. And, whether, again, that's staying in the same industry and furthering your training or something, or whether this is moving industries completely, but utilizing the skills you already have. Because like I said, even for instance, if you're a hairdresser and you want to become a lawyer, and you may think that these two things, there's no way you could have picked anything up from either of them that would relate, but there's more than you think, okay? Especially dealing with people. If you're being a hairdresser, yes, of course, you're cutting hair. So you'd have skills in, certain visuals and, with the hands, with scissors, and obviously, there's a lot that goes into it, right? But you'll have a lot of people skills, okay? Speaking to people of all walks of life and understanding people and maybe understanding human behavior would be something that could then come in very useful when it comes to being a lawyer, perhaps. Okay, so there's many different ways that could go. So, and I could go on all day about it, so I need to cut it off somewhere. So I'm going to leave it here. I do hope that this resonates with you, and please let me know down in the comments below if it does, and please give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy this reading today. Okay, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Take care. Okay, so for those of you who chose group number 3, let's take a look at your life's purpose. Okay, so you were drawn to this group 3 in the blue door. So we've got the art of life. There's no sacred light in the aura of invisible life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. Okay. Protection guardian. Drop your shields. Meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. The 4th house, roots. And then we've got earth elements, stability. Okay. So, group number 3. Okay, so I feel like for some of you, you may have a home-based business, okay? This could be something that you're being called towards, or it could be something that you're already doing, but the 4th house rules the home. It's also ruled by Cancer, the sign of Cancer. So this could also be something to do like a family business. It could be that you work with your mother, or you could be a mother and you work with your child, okay? It makes me think of Kris Jenner's chart, for instance. Her 10th house is the house of Cancer, right? And obviously her business is her daughter's, okay? So that's just one way that it can play out, okay? But also my 10th house is also ruled by Cancer, and I do have a home-based business. So just a couple of examples there as to how that could play out. So always look at your 10th house in terms of your career, but if you really want to look at your destiny, look at your north node. Look at the sign it's in, and look at the house it sits in. If you don't have your specific time of birth, you won't be able to see which house it's in, but you'll at least be able to see the sign it's in, which can definitely give you a lot of clues. And then look at surrounding planets. If you've got planets conjunct or in opposition or squaring, look at the aspects as well. As there's a lot of telltale signs that you'll be able to see through your north node positioning, okay? So that's just something, a bit of research that you can do, but maybe you already are fully aware of that, and this is why you've come here for more information, okay? So with that Cancer energy again, and now we've got Pisces, I do feel there's something to do with either water or your emotions, okay? Or probably a bit of both. So yeah, I don't know. For some of you, I don't know what you could be doing at home that would have things to do with water, but I don't know. That could make some sense for someone there. But it might be that you don't work from home, but then you're using the energy of Cancer. Okay, think of the crab as well. It could be that you work on beaches or in the water, going out to sea. Okay, maybe like the sea feels like home to you. Some of you might be very drawn to the sea, drawn to water, or drawn to swimming, or drawn to just being close to bodies of water, maybe very close to fish, okay? Could be something like a marine biologist, okay? Or like I said, a fisherman, or casting your net out far and wide. But like I said, it might be if you do work, maybe even on cruise ships or something. And there's millions of different jobs you can do on cruise ships. So it might be that that's like your floating home, like living on the sea, okay? And it might not be something you do forever, but it might be something that you do in part. But it's definitely something that's pushing you in that direction, okay? I find it interesting now that we've also got the earth element here as well, okay, which is a very grounded energy. It's got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, so you may resonate with those signs. So, you know, which is contrasting to water, okay? So for some of you may not be as focused on the water itself, but maybe you prefer to stay on land. Maybe you like to be near the water, maybe you don't like to go in it or to travel on it or live on it, for instance, but you like to be close to it. Maybe you prefer to, especially if you have a lot of Capricorn, maybe you prefer to be up nice and high on top of a cliff or something, or on rocks, or rock climbing. Yeah, definitely like some outdoorsy vibes, like hiking, being out in nature. Yeah, and again, some of these will make sense for the jobs you do, but again, it doesn't have to be about specifically what job you're meant to do. It's more about, yeah, where you're being guided to, and it may be your job encompasses that feeling and that general energy, but maybe there are other areas of your life that you may be more focused on or guided towards, okay? Because with the sign of Cancer, this could be about having a family, okay? Starting a family, that could be what your life's purpose is, okay? It may be about passing on knowledge to children, okay? And that's maybe something that you are meant to do. And I think there's nothing wrong with wanting that. You know, if you are a female with very traditional values and you'd like to be a stay-at-home mum and a wife, or, you know, you just want to be in that role, absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think society has made a lot of women feel that that's not what you should be doing or what you should be striving for. And I feel like if that's something that innately calls to you, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So you have to do what you feel is right and what your heart really calls you to do. And if your main calling out of anything is to be a mother, then that is what it is, okay? But I feel like maybe even if you don't want to be a mother, but in particular, it may be that you're naturally like a mothering type of person. And again, you could be masculine or feminine that I'm talking to, but somebody that, you know, your shoulder to cry on, okay, very nurturing and this very earthy energy, but you've got this sensitive side because we've got the nice combination of earth and water. So, you know, you've got the grounding, nurturing quality of the earth energy, and then you've got the sensitivity and the understanding and compassion of the water element, okay? So, which would make you a great, I said, parent, friend, family member, or a counsellor, some kind of therapist, a healer as well. You could work in hospitals, or whether it's conventional healing or it could be unconventional healing like Reiki healing or something. But I definitely feel that you're able to help, yeah, maybe especially with Reiki, see her hand is sort of held up like that, and that can be, you know, how people perform Reiki healing through the hands. So yeah, I actually feel like you've got a lot of power in your hands and maybe a lot of healing energy. So it may be that you'll be very good at something tactile as well, like massage therapy or something, okay? But I just feel something to do with helping people to heal, whether that's physical elements, emotional or mental, okay? But I just feel that you're someone that's very naturally intuitive. Maybe even you'll help people with meditation and getting into a relaxed place within their mind and finding that inner peace. It could be that you are a yoga teacher, okay, or something. I just feel like slow movements for you. I'm not saying something that's fast paced here. I feel like it's slowly and steady wins the race. That's just what I'm getting for you. I don't know why that particular saying is coming through, but yeah, it feels like moving more, and maybe moving with the energy, you know, especially if you are someone very naturally intuitive or sensitive, and like your emotions come in waves, and it may be that you don't want to do something that is too structured and it's the same thing every single day, and you need to be able to move with the flow of your energy and your vibration, okay? So the fact we've got the art of life as well, it might be something more creative as well. For some of you, I'm getting music as well, so you might be a talented musician or a talented artist of some kind. So I do feel like that's part of your destiny, is to create beautiful things, create beautiful art, beautiful music, maybe beautiful children. I feel like something to do with leaving a legacy, I feel. Okay, something to do with your leaving a legacy here. Yeah, very interesting. So I'm now just going to look at the tarot for you and see what's coming through there about your life's path and destiny. Okay, so we've got the Six of Swords, Ten of Cups, oh, two cards there. Okay, so we've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress reversed, and the Knight of Coins reversed. Just one more. Six of Wands. Okay. I'm just seeing a lot of feminine energy here. So it might be that you're more connected with a female, divine feminine energy. Again, maybe you are the divine feminine watching this. Maybe you're the divine masculine watching this, but you feel much more closely connected to feminine energy. Okay, but that's definitely coming through in quite a big way. So it might be that you're working more for females, or, you know, women's rights or something like that could be coming through here. Okay. I find it interesting is they're all reversed. All of these cards are reversed. So this might be about kind of your journey or where you were in the past rather than moving forward. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like this is where you're headed, if that makes sense, okay? But I'll explain what's coming through, and maybe this will make more sense to you, maybe about your past, okay? Because there's something here about going backwards, like ruminating, going back to the past, thinking about the past, or going back to doing something in the past. But the Six of Wands is about failure, okay? Failure. Sometimes this could be about the ego being in overdrive, okay? Needing a lot of attention, maybe needing too much attention. So maybe, again, this is where you were in the past. Maybe this is where you are currently. There's no judgment here. This is just observation. So it might be that it's something to do with the ego, maybe was out of control. And maybe it's like you needed to be brought back down to earth in some way. But I feel like, I mean, maybe you receive too much attention. It's like, you know, with child stars and celebrities, they usually end up quite unwell mentally. And usually, you know, there's a lot of trauma there. And they say that with trauma, that you can end up reverting to the age, or remaining at the mental age in which the trauma happened. So if a child star became, you know, extremely famous, and it'd have to be, you know, that extreme fame in order to create that trauma. But for instance, if they were 13 when that ultimate fame happened for them, it might be that they then remain at that mental age of 13 for the rest of their life. I don't know why that's coming through, but that's just something that came through there. So yeah, for some of you that might be, there might have been like a trauma there or something if you received too much attention. But this could also be not receiving enough attention. Maybe you felt neglected, okay? And that then caused you to feel like you needed more attention, or you craved more attention because you didn't get it either as a child, or maybe you just felt like you were not noticed. There was this feeling of being ignored in some way, or maybe that's something that you never feel like you wanted to be ignored, okay? And with Ten of Cups reversed, it's a sense of a lack of emotional fulfillment, or not feeling content. It can be like a family card. So again, this might be yourself. Maybe you grew up in a home that you didn't feel emotionally cared for, or supported, or truly loved. And it's not to say that that wasn't the case. Maybe you were loved, but maybe you just didn't feel the love as well, okay? And maybe that's why as well that you want to create your own family, more than anything. And then we've got Queen of Pentacles reversed, and then the Empress reversed. I'm definitely picking up some insecurity here, okay? So again, this might be where you are now or where you were in the past. I don't feel like this is where you are headed, though, okay? I feel like this is more where you are headed. But this makes sense, actually, because we've got protection shields, like drop your shields, protection guardian. So, yeah, I feel like there may be something that's been holding you back, okay, from either starting this home-based business or from starting a family. Maybe there's a sense of insecurity, of low self-esteem or a lack of growth. For some of you, this could be issues with your own mother or your own parents. It could be that both parents were very distant, or one maybe worked away a lot and one was, not very nurturing or caring. Okay, so this could be, again, like I said, some neglect here. Yeah, and it might be that you want to almost right the wrongs of your family's situation. Like you want to feel like you can put it right when you have your own family. Like, I'm not going to do it the way that my parents did it. I'm going to go my own road. And I never want to make my child feel the way that I felt. Okay, that could be something that's coming through there. And that could be one of the driving forces here for you. Like almost it's like pressing a reset button on your own past and thinking, okay, the past is now gone. I'm now going to create my future with my family the way that I'd always wished it would be. Okay. I'm just going to get a couple more cards about your life's purpose and destiny. Now, for some of you as well, this could be working with families. Again, this might not be that you've gone through this stuff, but it might be these are the types of people that you're dealing with and the situations that you're dealing with, people that have gone through neglect and insecurity, people who have, or, have been orphaned or who've not had supportive people in their lives, okay? And you are that person that is able to be caring towards them. Okay, so then we've got High Priestess in reverse, okay, which can sometimes show blocked intuition, but it can also be about revelations, revealing something, things that have been hidden. Okay, now this could be about revealing past trauma or issues. Okay, I definitely feel like you're someone that is going to be really good with working with people, working with people and their emotions more so than anything. I feel definitely more emotions and maybe thoughts than say physical, like physical health and healing. But like I said, it could be as well in the physical realm, but that's just what I'm picking up. Okay, so then we've got the Five of Swords, our life's path and destiny. Princess of Swords, Princess of Swords, Princess of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, so there's something about revealing the truth. Now with Five of Swords, I don't know, I keep getting what's that, like split personality disorder? I don't know if that's the right term. I know it used to be, but I don't know again if that's the same term. But I know, and again, I know that that's very specific, but I don't know whether you're dealing with people that have multiple personalities, but it could also be more so multiple different thoughts and negative self-beliefs, okay, that you're dealing with here. Okay, it's something to do with there's like conflicts, okay, and you being able to help. Okay, it could be like being a family counselor, like maybe if it's like court appointed or something, and people are going through divorce and custody battles, etc. It might be that you are someone that's there to help support the family through those difficult times, because it's definitely something to do with arguments, fighting, conflict. Okay, and if it's not with sort of multiple people or family situations, this could be what's going on in one person's head. Okay, all of these different thoughts and feelings and desires that are all sort of all over the place, okay, and conflicting with one another. Okay, so it might be about revealing some kind of mental illness. It might be helping to diagnose people in that sense. Okay, and then there's something about a failed start, getting off to, like, not getting off to the best start, okay, or putting something on hold, putting something on the back burner, and then juggling. juggling something. Juggling. Maybe this could be you have two different jobs or two different life paths here, two different directions that you are being called to follow. One may be about having or starting a family, and one may be about then helping others in your career, okay? So there could, I just feel something to do with two. Or again, two different jobs, or again, there'll be two people in this business, like you and a loved one or another business partner. But the number two is coming through so strongly here. I feel like that definitely has something to do with this, something to do with your life path. Maybe even the number two specifically resonates with you. Maybe that's like your favorite number, or it's a date of a birthday of yours or someone else's, or you know, it's a specific date of importance to you in some way. Okay, but more so, I'm definitely feeling like you're going to have to be juggling. And that may be something that you struggle with as well, is juggling so much, like your work, family, life balance as well. That could be part of your destiny as well, is to find that balance within your home and work life. Okay, so let's also just take a look at these. So there are some actual careers in here, and then there's some sort of generalized ones and feelings. So we've got fashion industry, interior designer, social media influencer, the 7th house, astrologer, fashion designer, fashion industry, lots of fashion, friendly, artist, oh my god, graphic designer, moving. What? I've never seen all those design ones come out ever like that. That's wait, there's 4 of them. Oh no, all right, there's 3 designer, and then there's fashion industry as well. Okay, so I know fashion hasn't come through here until this point, but again, that might have just been something that I was missing here. So yeah, but I feel like the design element is really important. I mean, interior design, that would make sense with the home, working, I didn't even think about that either, like working from home, working in other people's homes, okay? So this could be about, being an interior designer, or maybe even an architect or a builder or painter or something, helping homes to become more aesthetically pleasing. Okay, definitely we could see that you've got that creative side to you. You're able to see things in a quite a unique way, because we have got artists as well confirming that. But specifically, you know, we've got fashion twice, graphic. I mean, being a graphic designer, that could make sense with working from home also. Okay. And fashion, again, that could be something that you're very interested in your appearance, in the way that you dress. That could be how you like to express your individuality, okay? And then with social media influencer, again, that could make sense with working from home. It could be that, you know, any of these industries that you could be very good at, and maybe that's how you try to find that balance of work, life, home. And I mean, this is the most we've had in terms of actual jobs that have popped up, because there's lots of random ones in there as well. So yeah, I don't know, and maybe this is something that you try as well. You try lots of different jobs. Again, astrology, that would also be working from home. So yeah, these could be any particular jobs or interests that you have. But I do feel like whatever you're going to be doing here, I mean, except for astrology, there's an element of creativity there, and there can be with astrology in the way that you present what you're doing, I guess would be. But in terms of, you know, the stars and the charts being quite fixed, but then as well, there's so many different house systems and different types of astrology that you could have some, you know, in terms of your own input as to what you choose to do. It's not sort of completely rigid, if that makes sense. There's a lot of fluidity with all of these jobs, where I feel like, and maybe you'll do multiple, like I said about you doing two different jobs. So it might be you do interior and graphic designing, or you do fashion designing, and then you know, astrology as well, or tarot and astrology, which would go well together as well. So, and it might be that this is how it comes through social media. That's your business, yeah. And then we've got moving, friendly, and 7th house. the 7th house is the house of partnerships, okay? So yeah, that might make sense as well. With 2, it might be that you go into business with someone. Yeah, maybe a child, maybe a parent, or maybe your romantic partner, okay? There could be like this business that you create together, okay? Definitely something to do with unity, but I also feel like maybe this is about marriage. Like maybe for a lot of you, you feel destined to be married to someone. Okay, and that can be a destiny or a feeling for a lot of people, but I feel like that's come through. I do feel like either, you know, specifically for you, it's very important, because for some it might be, I want to have children, but I'm not so bothered about being married, or I want to be with someone. Wait, I mean, it doesn't have to be marriage specifically, but do you see what I'm saying? Like it could be that. Yeah, I don't know, because some people aren't, like I said, aren't so bothered about being married as such. They just want to be with that person forever, or they want to have the family, the home. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. For some of you, it might be marriage specifically that's very important, or it's just the children are important and not the marriage, or just having a partner overall. Okay, I just feel like that's going to be something that's very important to you. Even though you can be very independent, especially with having your own business, etc. You're very good at looking after yourself, but I feel like there's something about bringing in someone that is going to help to change the course of your destiny and your life's path in a positive way. It's going to propel you forwards, further towards it, okay? Moving as well. Yeah, so maybe like moving house. Okay, because I can't stop seeing that 4th house. It just keeps coming through to me here. So it might be about, maybe you move quite a lot, okay? Maybe that's something, again, you're destined to do, is to change your surroundings quite frequently, okay? But it may also be, for some of you, if you feel quite settled at home and you don't like to move around a lot, this might be maybe even moving around your home a lot. Maybe you're always changing things or updating your interior design, okay? Always changing and renovating, okay? That could also be something that you're focused on. But it might also be that a big move in your life, to somewhere distant, may be something that also propels you forwards towards your life's path and destiny. Okay. So I am going to leave it there now. I do hope that this resonates with you, and please let me know down in the comments below if it does, and please give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy this reading today. And if you'd like a personal reading, please check the description box below. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Take care. Okay, so for those of you who chose group number 4, let's take a look at your life's path and destiny. Okay, so the first card, we've got Hummingbird Song. Nectar of sweetness, in joy it brings, the hummingbird's healing, and as medicine it sings. Okay, so the words sticking out there, we've got medicine, so that could be something, and birds and singing. Okay, so let's just see what else is coming through. Shaman, trust in higher forces. Okay. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. Capricorn, I use Aquarius, I know. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I'm getting really goosebumpy in this one. That's so weird. Okay, what's going on here, group 4? What's going on? I mean, already I feel like there's something maybe quite famous about you, or that for some of you might end up quite famous. Okay, I'm just putting it out there. Because with Aquarius and Leo next to each other here in combination, yeah, I mean, that could denote fame, but for some of you, or a lot of notoriety or recognition in a chosen field, okay? Because Leo likes to be in the spotlight. Leo is always, the star of the show, okay? And Aquarius is unconventional, rebellious, does things in an unusual way, is very unique, okay? And that is a big combination. A lot of Aquarians and Leos, or strong Aquarian and Leo placements, end up you know, with a lot of notoriety, because you know, in order to be known for something, there's got to be that sense of individuality, okay? And, you know, doing things outside of the box, doing things in a way that hasn't been done before, okay? And then obviously Leo is, yeah, being out there, being seen. So, yeah, I just find that quite interesting that some of you, yeah, you may end up, yeah, being quite famous. For some of you, not necessarily for all of you though, okay? Because we do have Capricorn, and I mean, Capricorn isn't the one that wants to be, not that they don't want to be seen, obviously, but are a little more okay with being grounded, like working really hard, focusing on material matters and structure, routine, but not necessarily wanting to be the one that's in the center of attention, okay? But I mean, you could have a combination. I mean, this would be a real powerhouse if you had, you know, that Capricorn energy backing up the Leo and Aquarius, okay, that you know, draws the spotlight towards you, but you still need to have that momentum and the energy to keep pushing forwards, and the discipline. So that's what Capricorn brings. So yeah, and this might be a battle that you're having to fight with at times as well, is fighting between you know, what you want to do and what you feel you have to do. And it might be you like certain aspects of what you do, but you don't like the others, and you struggle to find that motivation. Okay, so yeah, I'm seeing this, yeah, conflict between what you want to do and having the motivation to do it at times. Okay, but we're going to get further into this in just a moment. I'm going to look at the tarot cards in a second. But yeah, I just find it interesting as well, like, don't let pride get in your way. Okay, so yeah, that might be something to do with, yeah, you needing to, something to do with the ego, like reining in the ego in some way. So for some of you, it might be not having enough confidence to do what you feel set to do, or what you feel called to do. For others of you, it may be that you have the confidence, maybe it goes overboard at times. Maybe you get too confident or arrogant or cocky about it. And, you know, that's never good when the ego is in overdrive, and it ends up usually coming crashing down. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just something to take note of. It's not to say that you are arrogant or you're going to be that way, but it's just something to keep in check, especially if you receive a lot of attention. Now, and it's only natural for the ego to then get a bit overblown. So it's important for you to remain very present and humble at all times, okay, no matter how much attention that you get. Maybe you are someone that's used to getting a lot of attention, or someone that's used to being very popular or successful. Maybe you come from a really successful background or family, or maybe a very unusual family. Or maybe you have these unconventional ideas, that maybe pride is getting in the way of those ideas. Maybe, yeah, it might be that there's something that would be amazing for you to do. Maybe there's a great idea that you have, something that's really innovative, but you're worried about what other people will think, okay? It could be that side of the coin, that you are worried that you will be laughed at, or that you won't be taken seriously in some way, because I get that sense from you that you want to be taken seriously no matter what you do. But sometimes we need to take risks, okay? And sometimes we're not always going to be taken seriously at first until we reach that point of success, okay? But what's the most important thing is that you take yourself seriously, that you respect yourself, and that you like what it is that you're doing, rather than what other people are thinking and feeling, okay? And we'll come back to shaman, trust in higher forces, because I think that it's definitely got a deeper meaning, but we're going to come back to that. So let's see what else is coming through about your life's path, your career, your destiny. Okay, so we've got the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so which is a card of learning, okay? It can also be studying, teaching. So it might be that you're being called to teach or impart your wisdom, maybe in whatever you were very successful in. Maybe you're already at this point. Maybe you're already doing really well. I mean, because your life's path isn't always just about your career, okay? That's only one facet of it. So there could be many other areas in which you are being directed towards. I would always say to check your north node, check the sign it's in, and if you know the time of birth, check the house it's in, because that will give you a lot of indications as to where you're headed or where you're destined to go. If you don't know your time of birth, just knowing the sign it's in can be quite helpful, okay? But yeah, it feels like there's definitely something that you're going to be very good at collaborating with others with, okay? So let's just see what else is coming through. Your life's path in your career, potentially, but your life's path in your destiny. Okay, so we've got the Six of Swords. Yeah, so for some of you, you might be crossing water, okay? You might cross water, you might travel a lot within your work, or within your destiny. It might be that you are destined to relocate, to move to a different country, okay? To go against the grain in some way, yeah, to see things from a higher perspective. You're definitely going to be doing, I mean, it's definitely the most unusual pile, I would say, out of all of them. And I think it might be slightly more challenging to pinpoint for you because of all of that Aquarian energy, because even if you know any Aquarians, they're all so incredibly different from one another. Whereas some of the other signs, or all of the other signs, in fact, you can kind of see the similarities in certain individuals with certain signs. But with Aquarius, I feel like every Aquarius is completely different to the other. So yeah, I mean, let me know if you are an Aquarius in the comment section and affirm that if that makes sense. But yeah, so that's why I said it's not like there's one particular thing or particular area perhaps that's coming through, but hopefully as we go further ahead, we can get some ideas. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to be able to see things in such a unique way. But it can also be quite isolating at times, because the more differently you think to others around you, the less that you can then relate to them, which can then cause that isolation, because either you feel like you have to feel or say things to fit in with them, but it doesn't feel authentic to you, or you don't agree, you don't see eye to eye, and then you can't conversate or relate to them. So yeah, it can be a bit of challenging at times, I'm sure. But then we do have the Hermit card, the card of Virgo, that's come through here, but it is in reverse. So, and then the Ace of Cups reverse. So yeah, I feel like there's something about being in the dark, but then coming out of the dark, being in the spotlight, okay? So for some of you might have been hiding away, hiding, shunning the limelight. So it might be, naturally you draw a lot of attention in some way, and maybe you haven't enjoyed that, or maybe you've not wanted to receive that. But I see something about being in the dark and then coming out into the light. Or maybe like this could be like a social media thing of like a blackout, like that you were on social media, maybe you're doing really well, then you cut it all off, and went dark, and then you come back out, maybe doing something different than what you were doing before. I don't know. It is a strange one. It is a strange one. Definitely the weirdest reading I've done in quite some time. Okay, so then we've got the Fool in reverse. The Ten of... That one's come out a lot today. But so I feel like this is about trying to follow your destiny in terms of your emotional fulfillment, okay? So maybe you're not feeling that fulfilled in your life right now. Maybe that there's a sense of, or there's a lack of contentment. And maybe, I don't know, there's a sense of loneliness that's coming through this reading. I just feel like, even though you might have loads of people around you, but it's like there's a longing for a closer connection with either your current family or creating your own family, okay? And it might be out of this discontentment or frustration even that you start to see things differently, okay? That I see this about you giving that love to yourself, because maybe again you didn't receive that growing up. Maybe you didn't receive enough love or support or care, or you feel that way, or maybe you did. Maybe you had an amazing childhood and very supportive family around you, but maybe as you grew up, you distance yourself in some way. But I sense that this is about you giving that love to yourself, and then once you've done that, it's like you've topped up your cup, and then you start to see things in a different way. So you might have gone through something quite traumatic or very healing in this area. And it's through that trauma, through that healing, that has changed your perspective and your view on the world and your view on life, and ultimately the view on yourself, again, where you're headed. Because here, I just feel like this is this ultimate learning that you've been going through. I think you've learned a lot of life lessons up until this point, and obviously you're going to continue to do so moving forwards in your life. But I definitely feel like part of where you're headed is to impart that wisdom. Okay, because when you've been able to heal something, when you've gone through something and you've come through the other side, okay, I mean, it's incredible. It's an incredible feat to accomplish. So to be able to then share that with others, you know, it's passing on that good karma almost. Okay, so I feel like, and I believe that all of our life's purpose will align with helping others in some way. Okay, sometimes it could be more about yourself. If, for instance, you spend your whole life looking after others, and then it might be more so about looking after yourself, you know, in your later years. Okay, so it can go that way too. But for most of the signs, I feel like it's more about, you know, being there to help others, or be supportive, or to impart wisdom in some form. Okay, but the particular areas, I'm going to look at this, my handwritten cards in a moment, see if that brings out any specifics for you as well here. But yeah, I just feel like there's something as well about mentally moving on. I feel like I'm just seeing a lot of firing going on within your brain. Like there's, maybe you're able to change the way that you think, your programming. If you had any addictions or certain thought cycles and patterns that you struggled with, that you might be able to help yourself move on from that in some way. Okay, and I do feel like there is this impulsivity with you, okay, with the Fool in reverse. So yeah, you naturally might be someone that you want to jump in with both feet, and that maybe you get an idea and it comes and you need to act on it straight away. That maybe sometimes you rush into things too quickly, so that might be something about slightly slowing down throughout your life. But I also feel like for you, group 4, that there's a lot that if you hadn't have jumped into something, if you hadn't have acted impulsively, then you wouldn't be where you are now. So there's a lot to be said for that energy of jumping in with both feet, okay? But it might be something, again, that you're learning, and maybe that, okay, I want to jump into this, or I want to try this, or I want to leave this situation, but I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to give it some moments so I get that real clarity. Maybe for some of you, you need to wait 24 hours. Maybe you need to wait 30 days for a whole moon cycle or menstrual cycle, perhaps if you're feminine, to pass before making that decision. So yeah, I feel like there's the energy of movement and then wait, movement and then wait. And it might even be that you initiate, then you wait to see what comes out of that, okay? So I definitely feel, before I move on to these specifics, for you to really utilize your individuality, okay? And Aquarius also rules groups of people and society, and it could be animal rights or human rights and welfare. You know, being an activist of some kind, and it might be even like you being the front man to some charitable organization, okay? I just see you being a leader, okay? Whatever you do, I see you being a leader, I see you being in charge, and I see a lot of people looking up to you for your individuality, the way that you think, and also your past experiences that have helped to shape who you are now. So I feel like it's also about being very honest about where you came from and then where you are, because that will also help people to relate to your journey and your experience, rather than saying, you know, I've always been in a great place and it's just naturally happened. It's like you've had to really work to get to where you are. And that's where I feel like that respect is gained, okay? But yeah, I definitely feel like you're going to speak to a lot of people. You're going to help to change a lot of people's lives by the way that you just are. And I don't necessarily mean the things, I mean naturally the things that you say, but I think just how you've lived your life and how you've changed things, how you've managed to create the life that you have, will naturally be very motivational and inspiring to people around you. So almost without having to actually say or do anything, you're going to you know, trigger and spark people into some kind of action, I feel like. So you've got a lot of influence, group 4. So, you know, that can be a gift, okay? But it comes with a lot of responsibility as well, okay? So just something to take note of. So I'm just going to have a look at some of these. There's some careers in here, but there's also like some other sort of random sentiments. So like this one, we've got luck is coming, okay? So some of you, yeah, you might be inherently quite lucky. in your life, or maybe like there's the energy of being in the right place at the right time, or meeting the right person at the right time. Maybe you come into contact with a certain person who then offers you something which helps to bring you onto this path of being in the spotlight or being a leader. Okay. Maybe you've got some Sagittarius prominently in your chart somewhere. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of luck. So yeah, definitely if you've got some Sagittarius there, you might naturally be quite lucky in a way. Okay. Okay, so we've got artist. We've got teacher. I told you these are, because of all that Aquarius energy and the Leo as well, to be fair, there's going to be many, many, many different jobs. But like I said, this is the overall path that you're being guided towards. And, you know, when it comes to jobs, I mean, it could be a million different things. We've got you light up my day, tarot reader, makeup artist, mental health, travel, I'm shy around you, journalist, I'll just get one more, family. Oh, love that. Yeah, so for some of you, this could be about a family business, that you get into a family business, or maybe you create a family business or a legacy that you pass down to your children, okay? So that could be something. But again, it could be more so about overall your path is to connect more with family, with your current family, the family that you grew up in, or the family that you create, okay? I just think family is going to be a very important and key factor when it comes to your destiny, okay? And it may be, again, that the way that you grew up or the way that your family brought you up, and with, you know, their certain beliefs, and the way that they spoke, or the way that you, like I said, were brought up in some ways, helped to shape you as this person that you are, and that draws people towards you, okay? Let's look at the specific jobs we've actually got. We've got journalist, makeup artist, tarot reader, mental health, could be kind of, I guess, teacher, okay? So, yeah, again, these could be all different jobs that you do. You could do, I mean, and you could be very talented naturally at a lot of different things. So maybe throughout your life, you try lots of different things. And especially, you know, in your 20s, is the best time to experiment in that way, to try out all the different things that you really enjoy doing. Because sometimes we don't realize as well, when we might think of our dream job and then we go for it, but then what we don't realize is how much of the dream job that we want are we actually going to be doing the things that we enjoy. You know, is it going to be 95% of it, or is it going to be 5%? Okay, because it might be that you just do a tiny snippet of what you love, but the rest of it you don't enjoy. Okay, so that's definitely something. A lot of the times you won't know until you try, and some things you will know. It's about being realistic as well, and looking at, you know, realistically what you would be doing. Because like I said, I feel like for you guys that maybe you are like the talent, okay, especially with these cards that have come through here almost. I feel like more so you're the person getting your makeup put on you, okay, or getting your cards read for you. Yeah, but not necessarily, okay. It just feels like people coming to you for advice as well. So again, you could be an expert in your field of makeup artistry, or you could create some very innovative type of art. Obviously, it's very broad art, so there could be a million different ways that could go. But with that Aquarian energy, yeah, it could just be that you're a very talented and unique artist, okay, that gets you a lot of notoriety. Tarot reader, of course, would be seen as quite unconventional as well. So it may be that you do become a very successful tarot reader, maybe through, you know, online means in some form, okay? Maybe you have a very unique way of reading the cards or about explaining things, okay? Teacher, yeah, again, it could be that you teach. I mean, there's a million different things, again, that you could teach. But I do feel the way that you explain things is you make things easy for people to understand. And again, there's something about the way that you explain it that
not only it helps people to learn and absorb the information that you're providing, but it actually triggers them. There is something in the way that you say things that really gets people to think, like for instance, if you're watching a YouTube video or listening to a podcast and you're feeling really inspired and someone might say something and you pause it for a moment because you just have to like go over that a few more times in your head. Like, did they just say that? Let me think about that for a moment. Those times when or like you've watched something or you've spoken to someone and they really have gotten you thinking after the fact, like after you finish watching it, listening to it or speaking to that person. Okay, that's the type of impact I feel that you're going to have on the world, Group 4. That your knowledge, your wisdom, your art, or your words, being a journalist, the way that you write perhaps, or, the way that you put makeup on or read tarot, this, again, a million different things, is really going to have this incredibly magnetic impact that not only helps people to see things in a different way, but it draws people to you like a magnet. I see you being in this attractive energies. I mean, maybe you're very naturally attractive. That also helps in terms of drawing people towards you. Okay, but I feel like there's a lot more to it than the superficiality of your appearance, Group 4. I feel like there's a lot going on when it comes to, your internal energy. Okay, the way that you express yourself is very unique, innovative, and creative. And yeah, like with You Light Up My Day, like I feel like that's the impact that you have on people, like that you are like this beaming beacon of light, this sunshine that shines so brightly. And it may cause some people to feel shy around you. So there could be this sense of intimidation as well. So you might have a bit of a contrasting element of impact to different people, because that's the thing with impact and influence, it can go one way or the other. And it might be that you are completely adored or, hated, okay? And I feel like, obviously, if you're not doing anything, inherently evil, and if you know that you're just doing your best, you're trying to do the right thing, you're trying to help in some form, and you know that you're a good person, it may be more so that people feel either envious or jealous or intimidated. And that's because you are reflecting back to that person what they are lacking, okay? Especially if you appear to be the whole package and you have everything going for you. Some people, that are in victim mentality may think that's not fair. Why do you deserve to have all of these things going for you? But it may be, again, that you're highlighting something within them, something they wish that they could be or that they could do that they don't feel they are or that they can attain, and they take it out on you. Rather than looking inwards at themselves, they look at you and project it towards you. If anyone ever shows you that feeling, when you know you've not done anything wrong and someone is behaving that way towards you, just know that that person is in pain, that person is hurting, okay? Especially if you've already been in that place yourself as well. Because how they're acting towards you is a reflection of what's going on in their inner world, okay? If they're showing a lot of negativity towards you and being hostile, it's because they feel hostile and negative towards themselves. So how can they possibly show kindness and empathy when they don't feel that for themselves? So it's about having compassion for those people, which will make you feel better. Rather than feeling like people are out to get you. Just know that it's, and not just because, they're just jealous of me, even though that could be part of it, but it's more, think that person is hurting. That's a better way to look at it, I feel, anyway, instead of, oh, they're just jealous. Okay, because again, they might be jealous, but to say this person is hurting, this person is insecure for whatever reason, be kind, be compassionate, okay? And I don't know why I just felt compelled to say that, maybe because of that I'm shy around you quality. So yeah, but it might be that people do feel shy around you because you're such a big energy, okay? You're such a strong energy and people don't always know how to handle it. But the right people will know, and you will attract the people that can handle it. And the people that can't handle it, even if you attract them, there will be a learning that comes through that on both sides, okay? But I really feel like you're there to call people to action, okay, in one way or another, whether for good, for bad, whatever. I feel like you're definitely there to drive people in some form, okay? And we do have travel as well, and mental health, okay? So which makes sense with what I was talking about there as well. If people are suffering through mental health issues, it might be something that you had suffered with, or maybe you're currently still suffering with. You could be at any part of this journey right now. And it may be that, you know, if you're still suffering right now, that you overcome this, that you learn how to deal with those issues, and then in turn you can help other people that are still suffering. Okay, and it might be that, you know, you do start to travel, you travel around, and I feel like this is more about long distance travel rather than kind of traveling around locally. I'm getting more like ninth house Sagittarius vibes again. So it might be that you travel very long distances to help heal people, to help or even, you know, like I said, if you become quite famous for what you do, for your art or something, it might be that you're called to travel around. But it may also be that, you know, traveling through online means, you know, we live in that age of information and technology where we're able to reach people on the other side of the world. So it might be that you connect online, and you're able to connect with people that are from, you know, very far away places. Okay, so yeah, I'm just really excited for you, Pile 4. And I don't know, I just think you're going to make such a huge impact, and I'm probably going to see you somewhere, even though I won't know that it's you specifically that's watched this video. But I just feel like your name is going to end up in lights somewhere. That's just my feeling that I'm going to get. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to leave the reading there. I do hope that this resonates with you, and please let me know down in the comments below if it does, and please give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy this reading today. Okay, and if you'd like a personal reading, please check the description box below. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Take care.